Hello, everybody. Good morning. My name is Abdullah Bonuola. I'm a tech PR consultant, and I currently run my agency, that's ABCS, Abdullah Bonuola Communications, in Lagos, Nigeria. So we literally cater to tech brands and tech startups. And yeah, we do PR for tech startups, literally. That's just what I do. Some of our client base can be, you're probably familiar with some of them, CribMD, Included, and other different tech startups. Okay, so let's just get straight into it. Some of our speakers are already available. They've been waiting. And now we can just have a conversation about cybersecurity and social listening. So let me just take you through some of our speakers and what they do so that you know the kind of speakers that we're having. And then we just go straight into it. Yeah. So let me start with Excellence Anurika Joshua. Excellence Anurika Joshua is a founder, digital media consultant, a Pan-African social entrepreneur, and a blooming African development expert who was trained and created he created job opportunities for over 500 young African women in the tech space since 2019. He has been doing that since 2019. Wow. With a passion for young women and transforming a pain of survival, she founded Techie Train Incubator, a social enterprise that is bridging the gender employment gap in Africa by increasing the number of women who have relevant technology skills for employment, decent jobs, and entrepreneurship. She started a foundation called Techie Train Incubator in 2021, funded by to train young girls and ladies for free in relevant technology skills. Okay, please just give me a minute. Yeah. Technology skills. Our mission is to empower women and youths with tools to work their way out of poverty, care for their families, and strengthen their communities. She set up the Tech Up Girls Initiative bootcamp with a team to empower 5,000 young women across Africa with basic digital skills within 3 years, starting in June 2021. However, this goal was achieved within a year. Wow. So far, over 3,330 have been empowered from across 19 countries in Africa. As a business and digital media consultant, she has obtained certifications from the International Association of Professors Career College, the School of Marketing, and the Call Center School, and others. She has also obtained a mini master's in business administration from the International Finance Corporation, a World Bank group, as well as other certifications in business, financial literacy, and marketing from notable institutions. She's an alumni of the Enterprise Development Center of Pan-Atlantic University, an alumni of Academy of Women Entrepreneurs, and a member of the International Association of Professional Social Media Consultants. Excellence is a trailblazer who is passionate about embracing technology to create sustainable solutions to gender inequality and unemployment in Africa. So let's just go straight to the next person. We're talking about Busola Komalafe. Busola Komalafe is a highly skilled strategic business leader with enterprise digital transformation expertise. With over a decade and a half experience as a Microsoft licensing manager, she's responsible for driving the group's cloud business across diverse verticals and territories. Prior to becoming the general manager of Cloud SA, she was the head of Cloud Advisory, where she utilized a deep industry knowledge to craft commercial solutions and licensing programs such as Cloud Solution Provider and Licensing Solution Provider to assist blue chip organization on their digital transformation journey, ensuring that solutions are aligned to strategic outcomes. She is an alumnus of the prestigious Lagos Business School. She equally holds a BSc in Computer Science and an MBA from Olabisi Onabanjo University. In addition, she has earned certifications in ITIL, V3 Foundation, Microsoft Certified Technology with specialization in designing, assessing, and optimizing software asset management. She's also a Microsoft Certificate Technology Specialist, Volume Licensing Specialist, large organizations. Busola is a member of the Association of Women in Science. Thank you so much for joining us, Busola. Now, let me then read the last bio of Richard Salvador Adebayo. Richard Salvador Adebayo is the managing director at Lagos-based, fast-growing, award-winning agency DigiSplash. I'm very familiar with DigiSplash, a content-driven agency who deliver world-class creative ideas with people empowering brands. With their approach to think like a shark, they help brands stand out and move forward in a crowded media ocean. A digital and marketing expert with over 10 years experience with strong creative and strategic skills, Richard's expertise, extensive experience in the media industry has led to an admirable level of respect in the digital and advertising industry. He is an associate member of APCON, a member of Chartered Management Consultants, a certified speaker and leader in the prestigious John Maxwell Leadership Team, and has spoken at various industry events. Most recently, he was a judge and speaker at the Cannes Lions Creativity Week in Lagos. He holds a BA in Business and IT from the Dublin Business School. He has led his team to various awards, which include 2019 Best FinTech Campaign of the Year 2019, 2018 Cannes Lions Award for Digital, 2018 Pictures Silver Integrated Campaign of the Year, 2018 Pictures Bronze Integrated Campaign of the Year, Public Sector Campaign of the Year 2017, and most recently, MadCon Top 100 Agencies in Dubai in December 2019. Okay, thank you for joining us all. I guess we can just go straight into the conversation. But generally, I have an idea of what cybersecurity is and how our businesses just generally need to keep themselves safe from fraudsters and different kinds of malware and viruses and all kinds of things that can affect your businesses online. So apart from cybersecurity, we're going to be talking about social listening. And literally, social listening is just listening online to make sure that whatever it is that is being said about your company, about your brand, about your business is literally positive. So I think we can just go straight into social listening, and then as soon as Confidence joins us, we can now go into the really, really techie and mind-boggling part of cybersecurity. So what is social listening? I think we can throw this question to Mr. Richard Salvador Adebayo. Can you hear me, Mr. Richard?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, yes. So I'll just go straight to the question. So what is social listening? I think you answered a bit of it in what you said. So social listening basically is listening to find out what's your, so basically a brand is not just your logo and the general things that most people think about when they think about brand, it's basically your reputation and what people think about you. And social listening is, we know that nowadays, the first thing most people would do, even when they're researching a brand, is check out their social media space, check out their online presence. And what social listening basically does is monitor what is being said. So you're basically monitoring and listening to what is being said about your brand online. We know that people listen to other people, especially on social media. If your friend recommends a brand, you're more likely to take an action, a positive action or a negative action, depending because of the influence friends have and family and the rest. So, basically what social listening is protecting your online reputation and making sure that, the right things are being said about your company. And if negative things are being said, you can respond as soon as possible and repair it or fix whatever negative sentiment is going on about your brand. So that's basically it in a nutshell.
Okay, thank you so much. I would just like to ask Excellence this question. Excellence, do you have an idea of what businesses need for when they are listening to their brands online? Like, what do businesses really need to listen socially? Can you hear me,
Yeah, I can
Excellence?
hear you. So when it comes to social listening, I'll just add to what Richard said. It's beyond listening about your brand or listening to conversations around your brand. It's also about listening to conversations around your industry as a whole. And what makes it different from just monitoring is the fact that you're not just listening to the conversations, but you're using them to make better marketing decisions for your brand. So basically, with social listening, it doesn't just help you. With social listening, it's because people think, oh, they tagged me here, they mentioned me here, so that's social listening. Social listening is beyond that. Social listening helps you understand why they're talking about your brand, why they're talking about it, and how. And it's beyond your name being mentioned. It's about your products, your services, the keywords, your target audience. Um, what are they saying? Where are they thinking? What are the insights they're talking about? And so when you want to talk about social listening, I think the first thing you need to understand is, especially when you want to use that information to make tactical moves, not tactical moves, not just strategic moves, is you need to know who your audience are. Very important. And then you need to, for you to understand um, what they feel about your organization, knowing who your audience are will help you know where they can be found. If your audience are, let's say, high school, let's say university undergraduates that are just the high, maybe fashion crazy and all, you should be more on Instagram, right? You see them communicate more there than on platforms like maybe LinkedIn. They might have LinkedIn accounts, but you might not be able to understand their perception from there. So for brands, the first thing is knowing your target audience. Then two, yes, you can monitor, find out, but some things can make it easier. There are some free tools that you can use to actually listen. For example, Google Alerts. For example, I think TweetDeck or something. TweetDeck. They are also paid ones, but the thing about the free ones is, of course, they'll bring in noise. They'll bring in so many things. It might not be exactly tailored, but if you want to narrow it down, you have to be, and then you have things like Sprout Social, Hootsuite, and all of that. But you can always start with simple things like Google Alerts. Now, there are some disadvantages that brands, especially upcoming brands, can have in terms of Google Alerts. With the way, for example, Instagram, the way the algorithm works, you don't easily pick keywords from the caption. You rather pick them from the bio and and all of that. And some key things might be in the caption. So you should not ignore hashtags. You don't just follow people, you also follow hashtags and all of that. So I think that summarizes it. Know who your audience are. Then how do they feel? How do they feel about not just the organization, but topics related to what you do, because they help you make an informed decision. Then what topics or trends are they passionate about, or will they discuss about? And knowing these things, or what is your target, will help you know what tools to use, what resources to use, and how you should do it. But I believe that every organization should be well vested in social listening. It doesn't just help you make positive decisions, it also helps you do a good competitive analysis to that could actually enhance or grow your brand.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Excellence. Let me now ask Richard one more question before we go to the third speaker. I'm not sure if Confidence has joined yet, but we'll go to Busola after I ask this question. So, Richard, please, what are the different What's the difference between social listening and social media strategy? Because a lot of people say like, okay, we're listening online, we're doing social listening. But then again, they kind of confuse it with social media strategy. so so Richard, please can you answer the question? Are you there?
Okay. Yes,
Yes.
yes, I am. Thanks. What I'll just basically just say is, your strategy is your long-term plan of how you want to position, how you want to go into the industry and all and the likes. When you look at, so your strategy has different elements to it or different tactics, the different things that you would do under your social media strategy. And part of it would be your monitoring and your listening. So social listening should be part of your strategy. It's one of the things that you can do under your social media strategy. So, for example, your strategy could include search engine marketing, SEO, display advertising, affiliate marketing, newsletters, and the likes. And one of it usually should be your social listening or monitoring. So it's an element of your strategy, and that's what it is. It is not a standalone. It's part of it. It can stand alone, but it should be in terms of infusing it with your strategy. For you to have a good strategy, you should also include monitoring and listening. So basically, no matter what you're doing in terms of your other activities, if you're running ads on Facebook, you have your Twitter, your TikTok, or the different platforms that you're on, and the different, maybe you're doing some organic activity, you're doing some organic activities, you're doing your paid activities. How you also know how effective what you're doing is or how you're spending your money is your monitoring and listening. So it enables you measure the effectiveness of your activities. Also, like the other speaker mentioned, in terms of your competition also. So it helps you realize how effective what you're doing is, even in comparison with your competition. So I'll give an example. Let's say you are a brand like Pureit and your competition would be a Dito. Part of your strategy could include, so let's say she talked about your target audience. So a brand like Purity Detail, their core target audience or their bullseye would be moms, moms that have children, because most likely they're the ones that try to protect them from germs and bacteria. Part of your social listening or your general social media strategy, like she mentioned, could be using platforms that moms are on. So, for example, that moms are on the platforms like third-party platforms like Lagos Moms, Wives and Mothers. That the women generally like gists and information that they can share with other moms, and they like to talk about relationships. So you would have platforms like maybe Linda AKJ, Bella Nigeria. They like weddings, so like wedding platforms, wedding and style and the likes. Where social media listening will come into it and your monitoring, like you mentioned. So your monitoring is the short term. Your listening is what helps you more with the strategic goals, which would go into your strategy. So from the findings that you have, the mentions you've gotten, the hashtag monitoring you've done, looking at what your competition is doing, it helps you come about strategic decisions or strategic decisions you can make in terms of your social media strategy. So maybe based on our social monitoring, we realized that a lot of moms are talking about parenting, would be an example. Then, you could include in your social media strategy that, in terms of our content strategy, we need to talk more to moms between this certain age on this certain topic. Another example could be you realize from your social monitoring that there's a lot of bad sentiment on your company's CEO. Let's even say like a board decision. You're thinking, should we employ a woman or a man? And you realize from your social listening that the reason why a lot of women like Dettol is because their brand manager is a lady. So maybe you should consider employing a woman for your next role as a senior brand manager and the like. So basically, your monitoring and your listening influences your social media strategy, or it should influence your social media strategy. It also helps you evaluate your strategy and see how well you're doing. So I'll say both of them are important. Your monitoring or your listening influences your social media strategy. So it's something that you should also include as part of your social media or your digital strategies. Yeah. Thank you. I think I'm done for now.
Thank you so much. I like the fact that you highlighted the monitoring to influence the social media strategy. So I think we'll just go straight to Busola, and she can talk to us about businesses generally and what she has noticed regarding their social media. I don't know if she can hear me. Can you hear me, Busola?
Okay, yes, I can.
Okay, hello. So my question is, okay,
go ahead.
So my question is, like, have you really experienced like social media and then the realities of being safe on social media as well? Because a lot of people don't come to that realization that on social media there's a lot of risk in terms of safety, and then the way they also talk on social media, all those kind of things. Can you just like give us an idea of what people should do really, or what entrepreneurs or businesses should do to manage the way they talk on social media, to keep safe on social media, all of that?
Okay, so I'll say again, my name is Busola Komolafe. I'm the GM for Cloudza, a cloud African company. So I will refer to the time I spoke about data at the CIO summit. That was a few months back. And again, so the recording, some people saw the recording online. People had different perspectives, right, to it. People could interpret it this way. So it was both positive, you have positive comments, and if somebody would tell me, oh, the way you said this thing is actually not correct. It's not the right way to actually express it, because you always find sometimes that some people actually know more than, you when it comes to that, topic or that aspect of the business, basically. So I think that, everything on social media and anything you put online, let me just say that anything you put online is viral. Anything.
Yeah.
There is no way that you can actually see, this is how I can really protect myself, except I don't put that information online. But basically, I will try to actually link it to maybe some sort of cybersecurity, right? Because in the sense that, there are like some basic principles around cybersecurity. Maybe I can link into data, right? In the sense that there are just 3 basic principles, and just like confidentiality, So if I'm talking about confidentiality, that means that I don't want anybody to see it. I just want the people that are authorized to see that content should see it. So nobody can get, to interpret it any way or use that information against me, because it's only authorized users that are meant to see that information, that are seeing that, that information online. So basically, it's about actually protecting, and giving yourself some layer, of protection, right? And again, most of the time, when you put information out there, I know I heard everything Richard has said, is the expert on digital, social listening, right? So I feel that at every point in time, I always, link it up to how you put your information out there and what layer. For me, there's something called, having user access, and also there's something called having human error. For example, I am meant to post something online. I decided not to give it a very strong password, for example. And I put a weak password and people can access it, which I didn't even want them to access it. It goes viral as well. I won't actually make some, so human error is I'm putting a very, very weak, password by myself. Another one is that I'm putting the message online, which people are not meant to see. Another thing is that I'm not protecting my data enough for people not to see it, understand. So basically, when we talk about, SMEs and businesses, they put a lot of information out there. Even when I go to actually buy something online, how are they actually protecting my own card information? It is meant to be my card information. Anybody sees it and picks it up, and somebody goes online to tweet about it, that somebody debited something from my card, and I bought something on a particular website that belongs to a particular company. So it goes viral, and people have like different views about it. You know, so to me, it's actually protecting your data through these different means. I call it CIA, right? That is actually protecting your data. That is how you can protect whatever everybody says about you online. If you wanted to see it, fine, you throw it out there. If you don't want to see it, you make it very confidential. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll just follow up with another question, okay? So have you ever experienced like a cyber attack? Like a full-on cyber attack where a lot of things are going on? And how did you manage it?
Okay, so they attack everybody all the time. Even when they try to, they act so many times. Even this week, I've even seen so many, they try to hack my account. I've seen so many Instagram handles that they're trying to attack. And also they're actually putting like changing the person's actually phone number so they can get the second level authentication. Right. People go as far as, doing that to people. So what we actually advise is that there's actually nobody that there's no actually organization that you can actually report to in Nigeria that I'm being hacked, or somebody is trying to hack me, for example. There's really nobody, no organization that can actually report that, kind of information. But what we do is that there's something called, there are defensive levels that you can have as an organization, right? To protect yourself. As a person, I want to protect myself from this whole cyber attack thing. Most of the time, we all get like all these funny emails in our email. All of us. You have won, somebody died somewhere, come and claim the money. Everybody sees that all the time. Come and claim the money. You have been chosen as the recipient of the data, they tell you that they want to actually invest in that organization, or you set up like what they call charity, and you have been selected from Nigeria or from wherever, and they're trying to choose me, Busola Komolafe, to come and be the recipient of that award or that volume of money. So basically, as in we all see this thing. So I would say that what we need to do, everybody, all of us, we need to do something called multifactor. Even on all our phones now, there's something called multifactor. Even on the apps that we use, we should just ensure that we have that multifactor. They will not stop hacking your account. They will not stop trying to get into your email. They will not stop trying to get into your credit card. That's why I say that SMEs organizations have to be responsible for data that goes out. So for example, I'm an organization, a payroll. Who is meant to see a payroll? It's just meant to be for the HR and maybe the finance, for example, and I don't protect it. I'm sending an Excel sheet to a customer, for example, and it's confidential, right? How do I ensure that that Excel is protected? Even as simple as Excel, Microsoft Word, you can protect it and now give that password to the person that will actually, get that email. There's something called classification of emails. You can classify your emails. There's something called general. There's something called internal. I only want this person to see it. If I get to forward that email to somebody else, right, the person will not see the content, right? Because we just have to put in measures, how we need to protect, especially our data. For example, so many companies, you just found that they are using HTTP, and it's meant to be HTTPS, for example. That is like the safe link I am meant to have, but we always overlook it, right? And again, I go to hospital, I do a lab, for example. They try to send that report to me via email to my box. There's something called, data at rest and data in motion. Data at rest means that, I hope I'm not getting technical. I don't want to sound like that. Data at rest means that why it is with me, at rest with me, that information is A and is A. While I send it to ABC person or AB candidate or whoever it still remains as AB. But most of the time, at rest and emotion for some people, it changes and we don't notice that change. So like human, you need to notice that change, that I'm seeing A at rest, in motion assisting A. You know, that's the way it's meant to be. But we just need to put some measures in place, ensure that my data does not change, because this actually has some effects on even the business. You know, even sometimes some banks, I read online somewhere that most of the time, even for SMEs, like 40% of SMEs actually act. And we don't understand that SMEs don't actually have budget for these things, right? They don't have budget. They don't have so much budget to actually put resources in, because you have to put resources, you know, put processes in place, you know, buy applications to protect and everything. So I'll just use this to say that, okay, for Cloudstar, for example, we are here to actually support the SMEs, right? And we have an offer. We even offer free assessments, because Cloudstar is Microsoft cybersecurity certified, and we are offering free assessment to SMEs. You know, I can drop the link after this chat, drop the link. And also we have like free licenses that we can use to actually support them for free, you know, for like the first 10 SMEs that sign up to the plan or to the platform that we're going to share. So we're actually available to actually help them run the assessments and support them, you know, through this journey, through this process, because the effect of cybersecurity attacks on companies is actually very huge. For example, if they should attack my website, for example, I lose revenue, I lose customers, I lose sales. It's automatic, you know. And you know, if I keep visiting a particular website and it's never available, I will not go there again. I'll look for another option. I'll go to their competitor.
Yeah.
And buy from them, link with them, basically. So just need to put the right measures in place, and we are able to support through the process. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that. That was very, very extensive. I really enjoyed that information. Like right now, I've even learned a lot because I'm also running a business, and then I always wonder, okay, at what point do I need, at every point in time, I'm always finding myself thinking about this security stuff and how do I keep myself safe? How do I protect other businesses? Because at the end of the day, I'm also working with clients and all of that. So it's at the end of the, I just think that it's very important. I would like to ask Excellence this question. So, sorry, Excellence, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, please. What kind of businesses do you think need to be cyber safe? Because I, for example, I'm running an agency. There are other different types of businesses. There are market women. Do they need to keep themselves safe? Do you get? And then what type of entrepreneurs really need to always consider cybersecurity?
So I believe cybersecurity is for everyone, for absolutely everyone. So most times when people hear cybersecurity, they think it's just laptops and computers. Yeah. But even your phones, your mobile phones, where you have your applications for bank transactions and all of that, are actually liable to actually be infringed. I would say something. I used to say something for a while, that if you have a business and you're not online or you're not leveraging technology, then you're literally shooting yourself on the foot, because almost every business now is technology driven. Even a laundry is technology driven. And so I feel that everybody is liable to be cyber attacked. Now, the thing is, sometimes when people hear cyber attack or cybersecurity, they think it's big up there, but it's not big up there. Things like getting the OTP or being able to use a USSD to make transactions from your business account there are things that you can protect yourself from. Things like what Busala had said about multi-factor authentication on social media is as simple as that. You set up social media pages. The thing is that for things like Facebook and LinkedIn, you don't set up company pages or accounts independent of themselves. You have to set them up from an account. And so if that account is hacked, it's actually liable that the account of the company is hacked. And with the way things are now, they're kind of interconnected. With your national identity number, you can connect your international passport, your bank accounts, and so many things. So when it comes to cybersecurity, I think everybody is in the ecosystem, and everybody should actually be interested and get involved in it. and not see it from the high up there, but start from the basics. And even when it comes to even transactions online, so the market women definitely have bank accounts now. So you're thinking, oh, I'm safe. I will go and deposit my money. What if someone takes your transaction, takes your ATM card or something, or even goes online to kind of duplicate your business, impersonate you? Yes, that's the word. To impersonate you, to defraud people, and you feel, I'm not online, I'm not aware. And that's where social listening comes into play. So you won't even know they're impersonating you, or someone is using you to defraud people or something. I have a personal experience of someone I knew. She used to say, I'm not techie, I'm not even social media, I don't even need social media per se. Her clientele are more of these top organizations, multinationals, so she doesn't bulk. And so she's not particularly interested in the day-to-day interactions on the online media. However, someone hacked into her personal Facebook account and then went through her pages and did a fundraiser. And of course, because she does very good work, and all of that. And if someone had not seen it on another page where it was shared that she was doing that, she wouldn't have known that. And she was like, we should be doing this, and she won't tell me. And then she contacted her and she's like, what are you saying? And then she went to check. That's the power of social listening. So if you're not listening,
Uh,
can you hear me?
yes, you went off for a minute. Yeah.
Sorry about that. So if you're not listening, if you're not paying attention, and then you can also know what's going on. So some people were not even aware when the Ukraine and Russia thing started, and they didn't understand how it was going to expose their online platforms or their online mouths to actually cyber attacks. Those are things you should be informed about. And so that's what social listening does to you or does for you. And you feel, oh, this particular industry is under attack and they're targeting all the banks right now. And so we need to be double sure that, yes, we're on track, we're secured and all of that. So I think cybersecurity is something everyone should be aware about. And I think it's something that organizations should incorporate into their policies. And like I've said before, it doesn't have to be the high end up there. It has to be even the basic one. Protect your phone. You have access to the company information. You have access to the company data. You have access to our online banking. You have access to our sheets. You have access to this. So you should be careful and pay attention to your phones and and things like that. I think those things are key. So to answer your question again, who is responsible? Who should be particular about cybersecurity? I think everyone should. Can you hear me?
Excellent. We can hear you.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So those are my thoughts about getting involved in cybersecurity. Is she still there?
I think I can't see Abiola. No, I can't.
Abiola, she's still online.
Okay, she's connecting back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm so sorry. I also went off myself. I don't know what is, the so, yeah. Thank you so much. Excellent. And I'm just going to ask her, like, at what point in running a business or a company should an entrepreneur consider having this cybersecurity? So even if it's a bit expensive, like what point, considering the realities of Nigeria, realities of Africa generally, like at what point should they try to continue to enforce this security for their social or their online space? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Is this question for me?
Yes,
No, it's for Busola.
Okay.
Yes, please. Okay, I do, Abiola. So basically, when the companies they are starting up, they should start considering, having a cybersecurity plan in place or a process, because no matter the organization you have with customers, everybody, even SMEs, banks, everybody has customers. As I'm in Clouser right now, I have customers as well. You have customers' data, you have their information, you have credit card details, you have their medical records, whatever it is, you have information of the customer. And everybody's out there to actually, make revenue, right? So basically, you need, at the beginning of it, you need to start. You need to start having the plan. It might not be big, you can only start small. It doesn't have to be big, because I know that SMEs at the beginning, all they want to actually make sales, revenue, you think about your profits. But why would I want to actually have an attack and I lose everything? I lose my data, I lose my website, I lose my sales, I have lots of profit. I'm not making anything, my online presence. People can even go online and put anything out there in your name because you have been attacked. So basically, it's at the beginning, from the grassroots, from the foundation, you start having that in place, have that mindset, start putting even basic defense in depth, have it in place. Oh, the plan is that I need to protect my infrastructure, whatever I have. I need to protect my emails. I need to do my basic software updates for my servers, or even, updates that even drops on our phones. I know that maybe maybe iOS, your updates, you even need to actually update. Because some people don't even actually practically update at all. So they're already open to attack. So I think that from the beginning, you just have to start, having those layers. As you go bigger, you have more layers. So you're actually layering the whole process step by step. So from the start, have it in mind, even if you're protected, even if I'm just a one-man company, for example, I operate from my phone. Let me protect my phone and protect that customer data from my phone until I get bigger and have a website. I get bigger, I have an office. I get bigger, I have staff that have emails, So it's step by step, stage by stage. You start from the beginning. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll still follow up with another question. So, for example, now, are there specific types of cyber, so you've talked about some, but are there specific for small businesses, they can start with? Maybe, is there some kind of software that they can use at the beginning when they just start their business or register their business? What can they do to just try to be safe, since we've already established the fact that they need to start from the very beginning, in fact, with their phones, with their website? So are there specific things they can use to protect themselves?
Okay, so for example, I'll start by, there's something called human error. Human error is I have a very weak password. So that's my fault. So if they should ask me, for example, it's because my password is actually not strong. So even when you're creating password, you see this is weak, this is strong, this is, you see that kind of when you're actually putting your passwords together, you see this kind of information. This is weak, this is strong. So for example, let me actually even put out the human error. Let me have a very, very strong password as a person to even do the first layer by myself. Because I know that, there are so many applications that can actually be used. So, and I mentioned the human error, having a very strong password, installing my updates. That is even my own part too that I need to do as a person. Also, protecting my data, right? Protecting my network. Am I following the usual, let me call it the basic principles of cybersecurity, which is just CI, that is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Am I ensuring that I'm not even sending out information just out there like that to people? Ordinarily, you have what is called an Excel. I have a workbook. I can actually even just lock that workbook. I can lock it for my system, and whoever I need it to open, whoever I need to send it to, I can now send that password to that person. All this, I've not actually bought any application. It's just using my own basic, doing my own basic first level security, processes. Now, locking my Word document. This document is very confidential. How do I protect it? I lock it up. Then I look for a very secure way to actually give that password to the person that's sending it to, the recipient. Basically. So it goes to the person I need it to see that information, because the information is very sensitive. So I just need to send it to that person directly. It doesn't go to somebody else. So, and again, so I just think that's like the basic thing I need to do as a person by myself to protect my information. Locking my documents, keeping the password, removing the human error, having very strong password strength is strong, basically. I do all that. Then I'm not starting about I want to protect my data, protect my networks, protect my desktop, then that's my coming at the cost. But I mentioned earlier that we are available to support the SMEs right now. That's actually why I'm even here. Support them with all this free support, assess the environment, look at where the gaps are, and help them to actually implement some of the solutions that we actually, sell, Microsoft solutions that we sell, implement it for them for free for the first 10 people, and, help them assess the risk and all the attacks that could come possibly, basically. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So I think my own fear about passwords is that sometimes the passwords can be too long, or I will just forget them, and I'll be looking for where I put my password, or maybe I'll save them somewhere, and then someone else will see it, and I'll be like, how do I secure this password if somebody else is going to see it at the end of the day? So, that's my issue. I think there's a question on the group chat. Okay, there's a question on the chat, and the person is asking, that's Suleiman Yisau, is asking that I want to ask this question: how do you know if an attack on your company's social media is genuine or not? Let me give an instance. You try to post comments and you were told that you can't make any comments as your account is suspended due to some people trying to access your account. The message now directs you to choose where to send codes to either phone or email for you to recover the account back. So I've actually experienced that. I think my first Twitter account, somebody was trying to log in, and when I used my regular password, it was not working. I was like, what's going on with this account? I had to open another account. I just left it. It was suspended. It was suspended, and I just accepted that it was suspended. I couldn't do anything to get it back. So, how do you know really when it is fake or when it is original, or when somebody is actually trying to access your account? I know sometimes I get the prompts, right? I get some prompts via email, but other times it might not just work out. So please just let me know. What can people really do to just protect themselves? Yeah.
Okay, so I would say that, even for me, it happened to me basically. It was actually on Instagram. Somebody asked my account and they said, so somebody was seeing my account that they were saying that, invest 100,000, I get 500,000 in 2 hours, something like that. So so basically, I found out that I was not able. So at that point, they're trying to, they're hacking your account. You won't be able to actually access it. I found out I could not sign in. I couldn't access it. Or maybe, for example, somebody actually changed my password that was in another location. Did you prompt? So because I had a what's it called? I actually did a multifactor authentication on my phone. So once somebody was trying to actually log into my account from somewhere else, it prompts me and says, you have to input this code to allow the access. The code pops up on my phone and it shows the location. Because you actually need to actually have that multifactor, whatever. You have to have it. Even for emails now, you need to have it, because it actually prompted me that put in this code 0793 or whatever to actually give access to this person, try to sign into your email, basically. If I decline, the person will not be able to sign in. So I think that even for us as people, we don't actually pay so much attention to those things. Or I did not change my password, I'm getting password prompts, or you change. So for example, one I saw on this on online this week was that another email address, another phone number was actually added, to that sign-in code to get the code, basically. So for that person, I already knew that I did not change my mobile number to get the two-factor code, basically. So, and the person was able to like say, no, I did not initiate this request. I didn't do this. So basically, that was how it went down. So I think that for any link we see that is malicious, any link that we see put in this code, it's actually very false. It's not right, because we get so many emails and so many, responses and like, oh, put your code in here, click this link to be able to activate your ATM card. Your ATM card got lost 3 weeks ago. You need this code. I know that I don't have ATM card, for example. I tell him to actually click this link to sign in. Those things actually they happen. So just like we should ask to look out for those emails, and again, try to avoid them. Yes. I think confidence at around risk up. She wants to make a comment. Confidence.
Yes, I think she just joined. Hi, Confidence. Hi. Please, could you also contribute to the conversation about what? Yes, yeah.
Thank you so much, Abiola, and thank you, Busola, for recognizing that my hand was up. And that was such a fantastic answer you gave. I just want to sort of add to that as well, to your response. So most applications, when they're communicating with you around anything that's security related, they will have that information on the app itself as well. So if Instagram is actually contacting you, you will see it on the app that they're contacting about something. And how do you get to see that? You open the Instagram app, you go to settings. So you go to settings by clicking your own icon, like at the bottom of the app, and you go to settings. When you click on settings, you go to security, and when you go to security, you will see a list of options there. There is one saying emails from Instagram. There is no email that Instagram will send you from their end that is not there. There's a tab for security emails, and there's a tab for other emails. So if the communication you received doesn't appear here, because it always appears in the past 14 days, that particular screen is in 14 days. All of the communications in 14 days that they've sent you will come up there. If it's not there, then that communication is not from Instagram. And I'm adding this because a lot of times people have gotten some messages, even like on the WhatsApp number connected to their business account. That is literally the cyber criminals playing on your psyche. If Instagram needs to communicate with you, they will not communicate with you via WhatsApp, even if WhatsApp is part of the Facebook offerings. They'll communicate with you either through text or through emails, and it will be on this tab. It will be on this place in the app that I'm speaking about. Same thing with Facebook. Facebook has the same feature as well. So that is one way. The second way to know is that when those emails come, they will come from if you check the sender's email address, you will find something bogus about it. So if you see something like Instagram -security, that's not the email accounts that Instagram usually communicate with people around security issues. So those things, and also when they make demands that are off, like demands that are outrageous or demands that breed fear, all of those are signs that could also be a cyber attack, someone trying to impersonate those trusted organizations. And there is a name for that. It's actually a whole it's one of the most effective ways around the world where cybercrime or cyber attacks get to happen, where a trusted organization is impersonated, and people are made to take actions that are harmful or give off information that will harm them. So for example, like Busola said, if you were to give that code to that person, the person is going to get access quickly into your account. So it's important that you look out for these telltale signs. But the key one I'm going to say here is check on the app itself. There will be a communication there on the app itself if it's really from that app.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to follow up with another question. Are there specific reasons for cyber attacks? For example, you're just like wondering, why is this happening to me? Why am I being attacked? What did I do? So please, are there specific reasons why these things happen?
Okay, so I'll answer that question by likening the digital world to the physical world, because that's what it is. In your physical world, why do you have a fence? Why does your estate have a security gate and have security men manning that gate? Even if they come through the gate, your own house has a gate itself. Some houses have barbed wires on top. It's because there are risks, you understand, and people, there'll be bad people. Like you are living in your space, you're enjoying your estates or wherever you live. There are people that are thinking, how can I take from Abiola, How can I take from her and reach myself? How can I go through her and hurt someone else? So there are many reasons. So if you translate that same thinking to the digital world, because the truth is that a lot of us have bigger businesses virtually than we have physically. I'll give you a case in point. CyberSafe Foundation has way more investment virtually in terms of the work we do than physically. We run a fully virtual team. Our office is just somewhere we come into when we want to physically come into a space. We don't work physically anymore. So now that means that the virtual world has become more valuable to us than the physical world. And that's where a lot of businesses function from. There are businesses on Instagram that are not brick and mortar, for example. They fully operate virtually, which means they make all of their money virtually. So if they wanted to steal from such a business, would they come in with guns and say, hey, everybody lie on the floor, your hands are your money, your life or your money? No, they won't do that. They will try to hack those accounts for their own advantage. So you see that if you think about it from that perspective, there are many benefits, there are many reasons why cyber criminals will attack people. And sometimes it may not be targeted. Sometimes it may be the fact that you're the easier one to hit. There are those train spray bullets and it catches you, So that's where also the place of you not being the easier person to attack. Try to make yourself more difficult to attack. Like one of the key things Busola said was the two-factor authentication. That's one way that you become the neighbor that has burglar proof in their window. So the thieves, instead of when they're trying to break through the window, they'll see that this one has burglar proof. Let's go to Mama Tayo. Mama Tayo doesn't have burglar proof. That's easier to get in. We'll steal their phones from the window. So when would I now start trying to break burglar proof? When Mama Tayo does not have burglar proof, I'll go to Mama Tayo's house. So you increase the difficulty in which you can become a victim of cyber attacks. So sometimes it's not targeted. They're just looking for the weakest people that they can attack. Sometimes it's targeted. And then when it becomes targeted like that, it's for financial reasons. When you are attacked, for example, like Busola explained, so it's also a way that they can use you as a channel to get more victims. So if your account is hacked, they can use that channel to sell propaganda. They can use that channel to deceive other people and get monies out of those other people. And the truth is, it's easier for an attacker to hack someone through somebody they already know than for straight strangers. So for example, if your account, Busola was, Abiola, you were attacked and you've been communicating to me on behalf of Business Day, the chances that I will click on a link from Abiola who I've been communicating with is higher than if a random Tayo, I'm using Tayo, a random person was to email me, so sometimes you're also not the end, but you're a means to an end. And that's why it's important that you protect your networks as well, so that cyber criminals don't use you to attack other people in your sphere of influence. So there's financial gain. They just share destruction, they want to just destroy, for example. So sometimes it's just to deface websites. That's the type of cyber attack. Sometimes they want you to pay a ransom, and that's where, they encrypt all of your files, they lock all of your files, and you have to pay you have to pay some money, which is like digital kidnapping, So there are all of these things that could be a reason why they attack you. But remember that just as you protect your physical world, the digital world with all of its benefits comes with risk, and we should not be ignorant of them, because it will not be whether or not you know about them. They will come to you if you're not taking care of it, okay? So, and again, this day and time is not about if you get hacked, it's when. So you need to protect yourself and prepare for that day. So when those attacks come, you are protected. So like you protect your physical world, you have to also invest in protecting your virtual world. I think I've spoken so much. I would pause here.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Confidence. I'll take this question to Busola. So there's somebody that has been asking on, so the person keeps asking that's Una Onya, what is the most secure way to communicate sensitive information like a password? So for example, you want to share a password with maybe a colleague or somebody that is also in the business with you as an entrepreneur, since you're an entrepreneur. So what is the best way to communicate this? Do you have?
Okay, I think the simplest way to do it, I want to encrypt my password. Encrypt it, for example. Okay, so let me just make it the simpler way. I put the password on a Word document, for example, Microsoft Word. I lock it, I send it via email, then I can call him on phone to say, do this password to unlock this document. That's like the simplest way that, okay, let me just, in a layman way, right? let me tell you, okay, this password 123, but the real password is actually in that document that is already locked.
Okay.
Right. So I'll just say use password 123 to unlock the documents I shared with you. So you unlock the document I shared and see the real password.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear you now.
I can't hear anything.
Can
I can't hear.
you hear me, Busola?
Yes, I can hear you now. I didn't hear anything. It was totally blank for a while.
Okay. So let's just go straight to confidence. The next question is so what is really the impact of cybersecurity? Cyber threats. So a lot of people say that it's not really that deep, Joe. Maybe it's just a password. I don't need to keep it safe. Confidence, are you there? Is everybody listening to me?
Yes,
I'm not sure.
yes, I can hear you. I'm here.
Okay. I wanted to be sure because I couldn't hear from Busola. So a lot of people say that it's not that deep. I don't really need this password I can share my password with anybody. It's not a new thing. I'll be fine. I'll be protected. So, like, what are the impacts when these things happen? What happens to people really? How do they feel? Is it that because I've heard of some interesting stories of people losing money. Is it just losing money or is it deeper than that?
Thank you so much, Abiola. But before I answer your question, I just wanted to also contribute to your earlier question around password management.
Okay.
I find that one of the issues with one of the most profound issues with having cyber hygiene on lockdown or doing the right things around. Can everyone hear me? I think Abiola seemed to have frozen.
I can hear you.
Okay, great. So one of the issues around having good password management practices actually has to do with how people store their passwords. So the standard is that you have a password that's at least 12 characters long, 8 to 12 characters long. Actually, now we've revised it and it's 12 characters, and it should be unique per account or per platform that you use, and it should be a combination of upper and lowercase characters, and it should have numbers. That's a lot. So, for example, I have over 50 accounts online. Having to ensure that my passwords are 12 characters long and they're unique per platform means that I have to memorize 50 passwords or more. That's a lot. So the way I do it, and again, I like to do these things very practically, because I will not tell you what I'm not already doing, right? The way I do it is I use a password manager. With a password manager, all I have to do is memorize one password, which is the password to my password manager, and all other passwords are stored and securely so on a password manager. Again, I say securely because they're encrypted as well, which means they're coded, which is better off than writing it on my notepad, writing on the paper. I mean, also not in your face, Abiola, which, someone else seeing it or stuff like that. So password management is also a very strong way of ensuring that you are safe online. And the best way I recommend is using a password manager. Also, directly answering your question, if I was now using a password manager and I wanted to share this password, speaking to Yuna's question, I wanted to share this password with someone, my password manager has a tool that allows me to also securely share that password with the person that I'm sending it to. So those are also some of the advantages of using a password manager, plus the fact that I won't be having to reset my password every time because I'm forgetting one password, or I'm using the same password everywhere, which feels like you and your family members using the same toothbrush, because that's literally what it is. Or the likelihood of you having a strong password will be very, 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 very low because you will not be able to remember all of those passwords. So you'll be like someone who locks their door and keeps the key at the footmat in front of their door. I mean, who does that in physical world? So that's exactly what happens. So it's important that you use a password manager. And since we are talking about small businesses here, I want to introduce you to a toolkit which we created. We partnered with KPMG and the UK government, and we launched that toolkit a couple of months ago. It has a lot of tools to help you secure your business, and all of them are free, including the password manager or password managers as well. I also want to encourage us that going beyond passwords and having strong passwords, let's turn on two-factor authentication everywhere possible. Again, that toolkit shows you how to and gives you some of the apps that you may need if you want to do it with an app. So, but now back to your question that you asked me directly. I would say that financial loss is one of the ways that cyber attacks impact people. But we always think about financial loss sometimes only from the angle of how much the fraudster takes from us. But financial loss could come from a loss of reputation. I mean, if, for example, an account has been compromised in the past, I will be fidgety around buying something from that person in the DM, because who says that the person who is collecting, who I'm paying to right now is the right person, or the person who is communicating with me is the right person? I mean, you could lose my trust. So loss of trust and reputation is also a business risk that is associated with cyber attacks. There's also a loss of time. If your account is hacked, that you may not be able to sell your wares at that time. On your website, if your website is brought down, you've lost customers that may have been visiting your website at that time. So that's loss of funds at that time as well. You also want to bear in mind that sometimes people don't recover from these cyber attacks, because if, for example, your page is hacked or your website is hacked, right? And you have grown this page to maybe like 50,000 followers. How much time is it going to take you to build it back to that 50,000 again? I mean, if you're not those, I won't mention his name, but you're not that guy that has many lives, So, but how much time will it take you? It's taking you a lot of time to build those 50,000 people that are potentially your customers. So losing that account, you lose connection to those people. You lose the likelihood of them purchasing from you. So given that a lot of people use these apps as storefronts, that almost feels like your store being bulldozed physically, because you would lose that access and that point, that address that people will say, if I come here, I'm going to find Abiola and buy products from her. So that is one way. Another key thing around cyber attacks, depending on the size of your business, could also lead to regulatory fines. Nowadays, there are data protection laws that, if you're not handling data correctly and, the data is compromised and people's data is compromised, you could pay a fine to NIDA. So there's also regulatory issues around that as well. I've mentioned financial loss, but there's something I'm also not mentioning that I'm going to mention, because it depends on the size of your business as well. If you're a medium-sized business, cybersecurity or the lack therein may be the reason why you're not able to extend or expand to new markets, because we're always thinking about cybersecurity only from the angle of what happens today, now, what do I lose today? But are you also thinking about the fact that if you're trying to expand, there are certain standards that you must meet across markets. And if your cybersecurity standards are not meeting those standards, then you will not be able to expand your business, because again, you pose a cyber risk to your customers. So there's also a loss of confidentiality with your customers as well, that also has its own repercussions in terms of your finances. So, I mean, the impacts are very numerous, but I must also remind us that we need to be proactive about what we should do to protect our businesses before the cyber attacks happen, because the chances of recovery from that kind of attack, if eventually happens, will be better for you if you are prepared for it, or you are proactive. You will also be able to defend your business against it. So I think we lost Abiola, but that is my contribution around that. There are a lot of impacts, and some businesses may never recover from these sort of impacts when they get to materialize. I'm seeing his first question around, I am interested in the toolkit. Please, how can I access it? I'm going to put a link here where you can also read about it and use the toolkit. It's very, very easy to apply to your business. Thank you. Busola, I think you want to say something. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Abiola. I think Abiola is out now. Network may have kicked her out. Okay. So I will just post the link here so it can also help you. Yes. Sorry. I think Busola has posted something as well.
Okay, so I dropped something about, okay,
Yeah.
that's a cloud that we do, like Microsoft Go partner. We do we are CSAP certified cybersecurity assessment. So basically, if they're like SMEs, medium size, small business, and actually having this assessment, actually, check, the environment is for free, that we could actually help them assess their environment. So that's actually, I'm actually dropping the link on this platform, basically. Yeah.
Okay, I'm so sorry, I'm back. Okay, all right. So thank you so much for your contribution. I had one more question. I wanted to ask you, you talked about the different password tools that you can use, like an app, really. Is it like an app? Is it an app, really, to use to protect your passwords? And then if this is an app, please, can you just share the link maybe afterwards so that we can get to see it and we can see how we can use it?
Okay, thank you so much. It's actually an app. I've shared a link on in the chat box. It has the toolkit I spoke about. The toolkit has 6 main parts. It has a part of know what you have, because a lot of us have this computing systems, we have these different applications in our networks and we don't know about them. So know what you have is going to help you with identifying and inventorying what you have in your organization. And then it has another part which is update your defenses, which has a lot of things around your defenses as well, and how you can stay updated and automate these updates. Then go beyond simple password is also another portion of the toolkit that helps with password management. So there's a password manager there. There is there are two-factor authentication apps there as well. So the toolkit bundles the tools that you will need as a business for free that are vetted to help you with cybersecurity. And then we have a portion that is for preventing phishing and malware. Phishing is a type of cyber attack that comes via email, where cyber criminals impersonate a trusted organization to trick people into taking harmful actions. It could be clicking on a link that is malicious or harmful. It could be clicking on attachments that will from there on, backdoors are installed on your computers. So all of that, we have tools there for free to help you prevent phishing and malware. We also have automate backup and restore, which again protects your business. So there are different sets of tools there as well. And then protect your email and reputation. Also, the set of tools are there, and they're all free, and they are vetted by cybersecurity experts and trusted organizations across the world. This particular one is for Nigeria, and we worked on it with KPMG. So just click on the link and you see all of the tools that I have mentioned. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So we just have 5 minutes left, but I just have one more question. We're going to make it quick. So there was a time that I found myself working with the NPR. So it's like an auditing company. They audit your company to know whether you are cyber safe, if you're protecting the data of your clients or your customers. So I think they were working with KPMG at the time. So I wanted to know, is this something that people can do as a SME? Like maybe SMEs can afford. So that particular company was expensive, but But are there like things that these SMEs can do that can help them to audit and check if they are protected in terms of cybersecurity and all of that?
Thank you so much for that question. I'm going to answer it from my perspective, and I think Busola also shared something that I'm just learning about, and I'm going to explore it, but I'm just going to share. She's posted a link on the chat as well around that. But generally speaking, like I said, the toolkit that we created is bridging that exact gap that, or rather attempting to bridge that exact gap that you've just mentioned, because SMEs may not have the people, the processes, or the technology to protect themselves. And that's why SMEs are the most vulnerable cyber attacks. The big businesses have all of these things in place. So this toolkit that we've provided has the tools to guide. There's the guide on how to implement these solutions. There's a guide on how to track and assess yourself as well using technology tools. There's a guide on how to improve on it. There's something called exercise in the box also in that toolkit. It's going to be able to help you work out with your colleagues where you are in terms of your cybersecurity posture. So the exercise in the box is sort of role playing that allows you to then do that assessment for yourself of your business. So if you look at the toolkit, it's quite very robust with a lot of tools for free that helps you access where you are and know what to do to improve it. So it's not just knowing where you are, but what can you do to make it better? So the tools are there. And another key thing that, again, like Busola said, there is a company that provides that. There are also companies, I think, are cybersecurity firms that are set up to service small and medium scale enterprises. And I mean, you shouldn't shy away from seeking professional help, because although these toolkits exist, there's a place for professionals that will come in and be able to see other things and ask questions that helps you uncover where you can improve yourself and really protect your business in these very trying times. There are businesses like there's InfoPre, for example, that provides, I think, packages for small businesses. There's Cyber Plural, I think I heard about them recently, that has packages for small and medium scale enterprises. And I want to encourage us all, far past this toolkit, it's fantastic to start off from this place. But if you want to grow your business, it's important to also invest in cybersecurity, because like I said, it could be the reason you're able to expand to new markets, or it could be the deterrent to that. So it's important that you set yourself up to take up all of those opportunities, aside a bad thing happening, but thinking about it that from the angle of you could be shortchanging yourself in terms of opportunities. It's just great to do the necessary.
Okay, thank you so much for that. We just have less than 2 minutes, so I guess I'll just round up. So thank you so much.
Sorry, Abiola. I wanted to put a caveat. I'm not associated with any of these companies, so they just came to my mind, and I thought to be resourceful, please. I'm not vetting anyone.
I completely understand. So thank you for that. You've really been able to enlighten us, and thank you to Busola. Thank you so much for your time and for contributing to this conversation. David and Excellence, Richard and Excellence. Sorry, I saw David in the chat. That's why I'm mentioning David. So Richard and Excellence, thank you so much for your time and for contributing. We learned a lot about social listening. And yes, it's important to listen on social media to know what is really going on with your brand, with your business, with your reputation, and always back it up with cybersecurity. It's very important. Thank you so much for everybody for joining the call, all the participants. I believe there is a link. Business Day is already posting different links that you can use to rewatch the video, and you can also get access to some of the tools that have been mentioned in this webinar. So I think, it's our time now. We have to leave. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
And you too. Bye.
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 Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.